Hello everyone and welcome to Ali Hem's Beauty today. Now excuse me, I've got no makeup on. I'm finding it really difficult to walk today, completely, and to even get to the toilet. But I wanted to talk about inclusivity in makeup, and specifically Charlotte Tilbury, who I'm going to be tagging in this video. Now I don't want this to come across as me being negative, right? Because I'm not here to just moan. I am actually passionate about bringing about change in the makeup industry when it comes to disability. And that is what my channel has been about for the last 6 to 7 years. It's all about how important makeup is for those of us who have difficulties in terms of disability, either getting around or any other reason that they have some kind of disability. And excuse me, there's a tear rolling down my cheek because that's how passionate I am. Now, I saw a video this morning where Charlotte Tilbury is on with Elton John. And I've got to admit, it made me angry because Charlotte was talking about inclusivity and how they wanted to include everybody in the brand. And there is a model in the advert that is in a wheelchair. And the reason, I mean, that is great. It's absolutely great. Let's be positive. It's a step in the right direction, okay? And I'm really happy about that. But it made me angry because it's not enough. It's not enough to just stick somebody in a wheelchair in one of your adverts and then say that you're inclusive of disability. And there's so many examples that I can give. And I really want Charlotte Tilbury to take this seriously as somebody who has done hundreds of videos, over 300 Charlotte Tilbury videos in the last 6 to 7 years, who has a disability and who has hundreds of people with disabilities following me. I really want you to listen and to listen hard. And take this as it is meant, which is constructive feedback to bring about change. Okay, so, here's an example. How about instead of just putting somebody in a wheelchair in your adverts, how about you do something to your shop in Covent Garden, your first shop, which is basically completely inaccessible to people that have got mobility difficulties. Now, I'm going to get to you can't change the shop front in a minute, okay? Big proviso, and you can't change things in the shop because of limitations. I'm going to get to that. But let me just tell you, I was invited to Charlotte Tilbury on 3 occasions as a VIP. Because I was buying so much from Charlotte Tilbury and I was doing makeup videos. I was invited to her shop and I use a mobility scooter because I have great difficulty in walking. On one occasion, I turned up and I was asked if I would mind waiting for a minute while they went down to the basement, to get a ramp. Sorry, when I'm in pain, I get word blind. When they went downstairs to get the ramp and bring it up and put it down so that I could get into the shop. And even when you get into the shop, it is so crowded that you can't actually use a mobility scooter or a wheelchair. On the second occasion, knowing what happened the first time, I just said to the security guard, would you mind lifting my mobility scooter inside the shop? Because luckily I have one that folds up and it's about 23 kilograms. And so I folded it up. I stumbled up the step and he lifted it in, folded up and put it inside. And then I had to use my crutches to get down a spiral staircase. Now, everybody was lovely to me in there and made sure that I had a seat, everything else. So I'm not complaining, and it was great to be invited to the VIP event. Now to get to what you're going to say, because everybody always says it. It's a listed building, darling, and there's nothing I can do. But you know what? Accessibility is a bit like makeup. with a bit of imagination and the determination to want it to happen, you can do anything. So, for example, why not have an accessible boudoir on the ground floor? Okay, for your VIP events, that wouldn't solve that. But, you know, you might say there might not be any call for it, but you don't actually ask people about their access needs until they turn up at the shop, right? You know, how about just having an accessible boudoir? That would say, we know that you're important too, and that you want good makeup, and we want you in our shop. It would give out a really strong message that would be so appreciated by so many, including me. Okay? How about having the ramp somewhere on the ground floor so that the person doesn't have to sit outside for 5 minutes while somebody goes down to the basement and carries it up when they might be very busy in the shop, and you feel like you're putting them out? How about doing that? How about having it ready in the shop somewhere on the ground floor so that the ramp can go up immediately that somebody needs it? These are not difficult things, and they don't mean that you've got to spend thousands of pounds doing up the shop. But they say, we welcome you. We welcome you. We know that you're shoppers with us. How about taking away from myself, because it's not all about me, but how about having visual descriptions for people who are partially sighted or blind on your adverts, and on your Instagram adverts, that actually describes what it is that you're showing in your adverts, so that people who are blind, who, by the way, are still interested in makeup, how about including them? There are so many things that you could be doing. How about having an event for disabled customers and getting them to head office and asking them what they need? Because I'm just talking about mobility needs, but we know there are many other disabilities out there, and it's not just people in wheelchairs. Okay? How about doing those things? How about coming back to me? How about showing me some support in some way? People like me, disabled beauty bloggers, who have been actually raving about your brand for the last 6 to 7 years, who've put out more than 300 videos, who are not only disabled, but have hundreds of disabled people following them. How about doing something to encourage them, either sending PR or boosting their channel in some way? And this isn't just about me begging for freebies. It's not. I want to see change in the industry, and I'm really, really mean that. You know, yes, it'd be lovely to get PR, but this isn't a trick to get PR. I want to see change. I want to see people with disabilities being included. And you know what? If you look at this video, Charlotte Tilbury organisation, and you don't take on any of these ideas that I've just talked about, then I have a suggestion for your next lipstick. And your next lipstick should be called Lip Service, because that's how strongly I feel. And that is what you're doing by putting a disabled woman in an advert and doing nothing more. So please, please listen to some of these ideas. I am committed to your brand. I always have been. Even when I don't particularly like a product, I still buy your products. I promise to tell my viewers the truth. And I have sold so many Charlotte Tilbury products over the years. And any other makeup companies listening, please take note, and please, please, please listen to some of these suggestions. It doesn't have to be massive things that you're doing, but little things, asking customers what they want. People with disabilities know more than anyone else about what is needed in order to make something feel more accessible to them. And it's that feeling more than anything else. Even if I never visited Covent Garden again, if I saw that you'd opened an accessible boudoir, it would mean the world to me. It would make me so much more committed to your brand, because I know that you're committed to me and to my disability and to making sure that makeup is still accessible to me. And as you can see, I'm going to go now because this means so much to me that it makes me quite tearful. And by the way, I'd just like to say hello to Daniel Sandler. Daniel Sandler is somebody who I strongly admire, who listened to one of my posts that I put out originally. And he does have an accessibility statement on his website. And it meant so much to me when I saw that. That's a great example of showing people that you actually care about making accessible makeup accessible for all. Thank you very much for listening to me. Bye-bye.